Brian had really picked out the black buck as his target. He wanted a black buck, and luckily the way it worked out is, you know, he hunted a few hunts and had saw some black buck, but not the trophy one that he wanted, and we wanted to make sure we got these kids a true trophy animal. And Brian had gotten a stand that afternoon for the afternoon hunt, which was our last afternoon hunt, and there is a young black buck out in what, you know, is typically a food plot, but since they haven't had rain here in 4 months, the food plot's never really developed. But black buck like the open spaces, and they can see danger coming. They've got incredible eyesight, and so they were hanging out in this area pretty often, and Kevin had picked a great spot to put Brian for the hunt. And they saw a number of black buck, they saw some does, they saw some young bucks, but they really weren't able to find that big mature trophy that they wanted.
We just had a herd of black buck come in and got Brian set up to shoot him, and about the time we got set up, something spooked him, another deer or something out in the woods. And about the time we got Brian set up, got ready to shoot, the black buck went in the woods and we weren't able to get a shot. But it was a good time, wasn't it? Yeah. Did you get excited?
Yeah.
Brian's last afternoon hunt, Brian was able to spot a trophy black buck coming in through one of the cutaways. And I think immediately Brian's heart started going through the roof. He knew this was a good one. Well, Kevin had identified that one of these black bucks was definitely a shooter, and it had came in from the right, but unfortunately Brian was sitting on the left-hand side of the blind. So Brian and the camera and all that had to do a flip-flop and get on the other side. But by the time they got to the other side of the blind and got set up on it, the black buck had moved across the cutaway and was now back on the original side where Brian was sitting. So Brian had to move back to the other side. So there was a lot of chaos going on in the blind. And to say Brian was excited and ready to shoot was an understatement. And I was talking to the cameraman, and he said, you know, we've got it in frame. But Brian was so excited that he really pulled the trigger before we were able to get the shot in focus. But you know, it's really not about that. It's not about the focus of the camera. It's not about that. It's about Brian spending a great time in the outdoors, getting a trophy animal of his dreams. And I mean, as you can see, Brian's excitement was uncontrollable. He did a dance for us. He was screaming. He was hooting and hollering. He was so excited that, you know, at the end of the day, that's really what this is all about. Sometimes things go a little wrong here or there, but you know what? If you stay the course and you're patient and you've got the right attitude towards what you're doing, I think, you know, it's something that's it's just very moving and something that, you know, we all feel really blessed to be a part of.
All right, Brian, you ready to go get him? Let's go get him.
Been ready.
Congratulations, Brian. Brian shot this black buck out of the blind. It's been over an hour now. We've been, he hit him hard, he jumped up, and could tell that he hit him pretty hard. He started trailing blood pretty close to where he shot him. We've been trailing blood for about 400 yards, I'm guessing. And he laid down a couple times and had some big puddles of blood, and he got pretty excited. And Brian finished up the trail, blood trail, and saw him down dead on the ground, and it was a great hunt. Enjoyed it very much.
So did I. Awesome.
Awesome,
Thank
buddy.
you.
You're welcome.